Okay. Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing?
Oh, we're fantastic. How are you?
Good.
Great. I really do need to comb my hair. Okay. Let me get a. Oh, here's a pencil.
Do
So
you
does
want me to? Oh, I could say prayer.
okay.
Our Father in heaven, we're so grateful for this day and so grateful for all of our blessings. We're grateful for uh, the opportunity to acquire an education and to attend this university. And we ask for Thy Spirit to be with us as we discuss this week's lesson. And we're so grateful for all we have again. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
So I'll go ahead and do this one, and then Bracken can just take my week next week.
Okay.
Okay. So let me go back to the questions I should be asking. Hopefully he's doing okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you guys think of the activity this week?
I thought it was pretty interesting, kind of thinking through, there's a lot of survival TV shows out there, and so it's kind of interesting to have a list and to kind of think through what you would bring. So I thought that was pretty interesting how, they crashed the canoes and everybody's wet. And so it's kind of an emergency situation, but they're too far away to get out safely without spending some time, it sounds like, because someone broke their leg and stuff. So
it's like a young women's camp.
yeah.
Where we want to do what all the guys do, and this happens.
Or scout camp too, that high adventure.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pretty familiar with the story, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess what we can do is let's see, it says, what were the most significant issues facing the group?
So what I think, since they crashed their canoes and they can't make it back in time, they're like 5 days behind. Actually, 4 days, but the extra day is like if they need like help, the help would come get them on the day after. So in all about 5 days. So they're basically trying to survive for the time being until they could get help. And so they have most of their supplies that they had on the boat canoes, because it was five of them, maybe three of them on one canoe and two of them on another canoe. But both canoes crashed, and so their food supply fall over in the water, and some of it were lost. The rest of it that they recover, that's all they have to survive on. So they put together all the supplies that they have, and they have to make it work. So basically, we're trying to go through what is the most important that they should have and what's the least important they should have.
It's pretty tough when you have
Yeah.
so much going wrong. Penny, what do you think are the toughest?
I think some of the biggest problems or issues facing the group A is they're wet, and they're in an area that the weather changes very frequently and can get very cold. There's someone who broke their leg, so there are people that need, someone needs medical attention. So those are the main, having a good water source, a decent food source, and, you know, preventing hypothermia and treating the person that has a broken leg are the main issues I think that are kind of facing them. Well, and obviously finding their way back out.
Right. So I thought the cold weather was an issue, and also the fact that the nearest town was 60 miles away. That's pretty far.
Yeah, for
I think 15 miles would be pretty far. That's 60 miles is pretty far. So, okay, good. I'm curious to see how you guys ranked because you have different issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the first actions that must be taken? Obviously, the person who's sick, right? Who's got his leg broken. Something has to happen with him, right?
Right.
What else?
I think so. I was on a scout camp adventure when we went canoeing on a river. We had cars pretty close, so we didn't have to like hike out or anything. But there, we went over some rapids, and some of the scouts fell out, and it was in water that was very cold. And some of the scouts started showing hypothermic reactions. And so I think that is one of the big things too, is making sure that everyone, you know, aside from their wet clothes, to prevent hypothermia, is one of the immediate kind of things that they have to do.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, with their limited supplies that they have, I don't know how they would be. How are they going to be able to prevent hypothermia that easily? I mean, most of their clothing is gone. They only have like 3 sets of clothing for only 3 person. So that means 2 person will not have clothing. But they have other supplies. I think for me, I put on mines that they would need. Let me look at mine here pretty quick. I thought they would need matches. That would be the first thing because they would need to make fire. That's the first thing to keep warm. And so if they have like maybe fire to keep warm, they'll be able to, survive.
Dry out their clothes.
Dry out their clothing, and
good point.
that's the first thing.
So I guess that's one of the significant issues facing the group too, is when you have hypothermia. I mean, you're using a lot of energy to try to warm up. And so very little food that they have is even less when you think about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to come to a consensus. Says consensus means that your group should not merely vote or average rankings together. Instead, try to get everyone to more or less agree on the rankings. So when someone disagrees, listen carefully. When someone feels strongly, the person should attempt to use persuasive techniques. Persuasive technique.
Yeah.
I guess. All right. So, what do you guys think is the smartest way to do this?
So I guess we could just kind of go discuss which item we think should be number 1 and move through the.
Yeah.
So I put fanny pack of food as number 1. Just because I don't put not much.
Yeah.
But it's something. So what did you guys put for number 1?
I put matches. And the reason why I put matches is kind of what Chris was saying. I think the number 1 priority would be maintaining or starting a fire. Because, they have a broken fishing pole. Yeah. So I guess, there are means that they could use to maybe acquire food, and your body can maybe go without food longer than it can without water. But my thought was their number 1 thought process or their number one thing that they need to do is prevent hypothermia, because that's an even more dire situation that could put significant lives at risk. And so that's why I think matches are the most important to me.
Okay, that was really good. Chris, what'd you put for number one?
Yeah, I have matches also. I think because of the weather keep changing, and it's sometimes get really cold and then rain and then windy and all of that. I think they could get really sick easily, and so I think what having warmth is should be the first thing there on the list. So I think they should have the matches as one of the first item.
So you think that should be number one?
Yeah.
So you have, okay, so matches were number 8 on my list. So clearly my group would suffer.
I doubt that.
I don't know. Okay, so for number 2, I did duct tape because you can do anything with duct tape. The duct tape can fix the broken, well, depending on how much duct tape, but a 130-foot roll. So you can fix the broken fishing poles. You can fix the broken leg. I mean, you can just fix things. You can hang things. You can tie things together. Do you know what I mean? That's why. So I picked number 2, duct tape.
Well, I'm with you there. I didn't pick that as number 2, but now that I think about it, right? So their canoes are broken, and with someone with a broken leg, I don't think you're going to be hiking 16 plus miles out very easily, carrying someone. And so I think to be able to fix things, especially their canoes potentially, and patch their canoes so that they can, journey down the river. Because I think that might be their best option at this point where they're so far away. They could continue going down the river if they can fix their canoes with duct tape, at least to the point where they're, able to float and kind of make their way down.
Okay. What did you have? So what did you put for number 2?
I actually put the 6 sleeping bags. Just because they're synthetic, they can dry them out if they have a fire. And, if they're potentially going to be spending the night, again, with the weather changing, I put that as number 2 to kind of stay warm.
Okay. Chris, what'd you put for number 2?
I put the fishing poles. I was thinking that, they probably need a fishing pole because apart from having heat, they would need food to survive. So I put the fishing poles. Maybe they could go catch some wild fish in the lake or whatever in order to survive. So I put that.
Okay.
But I agree. I totally agree with what Kenny said. We should probably put a duct tape for us because the duct tape could probably, put the canoes back together by mending them up with a duct tape, and they could be able to go through with their journey. But with the rapids being so really bad, I think they would want to walk past that part rather than go through the rapids. Because I think if they go through it again, they should learn the lesson the first time, right? Rather than doing it again. So.
Okay. So number 2 for duct tape. So number 3, I did the plastic covered map of the region because I think it's important. I mean, everything is pointless if you're exerting all that energy, if you're having to spend extra nights because you're going in circles. And so I did the map for number 3. What'd you guys do for number 3?
I did the compass, but I put the map as number 4, so I put them right next to each other. Just because, but then again, if you have the map of the region, you can at least orient yourself that way. So yeah, I'm with you there. I think either one of those 2 items is pretty important.
So I actually put the compass as number 14, the most useless, because hopefully you'll have somebody who can do the stars, who knows where north is, or if you have a watch, usually
Right.
you guys have little compasses on your watch.
Right. Or yeah, and the map, if you can kind of orient yourself.
Mm-hmm. Chris, what you put for number 3?
Number 3, I have the set of clothes for 3. That's what I put for number 3.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have the map as number 6. But I think I would rearrange some of those, giving it more consideration.
Yeah. I actually had the extra set of clothes. They're wet. I had them down at number 12, just because if you have matches and you can start a fire, hopefully everyone can kind of like get their clothes dry that they're wearing. That might make for an awkward situation, I guess. But yeah, at least, they could have their wearing.
It says here a set of clothes for 3. Those are kind of a wet clothing. Maybe they're kind of protective clothing where you wouldn't get wet. So it's kind of like a plastic covering over. That's what I think that is.
So what do you suppose we should do for number 3 then, the map?
Yep, let's go with the map.
Yeah, the map is important. So.
Okay. So number 4, I put the yellow frisbee because I'll be honest, when I went to look at the questions, somebody had mentioned, somebody got kind of technical, and somebody was asking Brother Freeze a question, and he mentioned that, because I had no idea, the frisbee, really, what are you going to use a frisbee for? What possibly are you going to use a frisbee for?
I actually put that as the last one, 14.
Well, so I read you could use it for water, because it doesn't say anywhere that somebody has a cup.
Yeah. I did read that too.
Yeah.
I put the frisbee down on my list too, because I think you could find other ways to maybe collect water. But then again, yeah, if no one has a dish or like a canteen or anything like that, then a frisbee could come in handy. I would maybe argue that the sleeping bags might be handy higher up on the list, just because there's a good chance that they're going to be spending the night, at least one night or 2 nights, and where the temperature drops so drastically. I think sleeping bags are going to be pretty important, especially where they lost so much clothing and stuff.
That's what I got. I got sleeping bags for number 4.
So you think we should do sleeping bags?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we should keep the frisbee in mind, because thinking about that now, like there's nothing really that they have that they could drink out of.
Yeah.
Because I put the water purification tablets high on the list, but it's like, well, how are you gonna, what are you gonna purify the water in?
Your insect repellent bottle?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So that for number 4. So number 5, I had the water purification tablets. And I had that because I thought that was pretty important, because you need water. And I thought 5 was pretty important up there.
Yeah. I got a compass for number 5. I was thinking to go along with the map, you might need a compass there. So I put that as number 5, because the first thing when something like this happens, you want to be able to survive and get out of there quickly. You don't want to stay there too long. You want to get your matches, heat it up, get a fire, keep warm, and you want to get your maps and compass to figure out where you got to go to get out of there.
Well, I think having the plastic covered map and the compass are kind of the same thing. I think one of them has to be dropped. I don't think you need both.
I don't know. What do you think there? What do you think there, Kenny? You need both,
So
right?
I kind of put them hand in hand because usually you need to orient yourself. And if you're doing most of your traveling during the day, obviously the water, if you follow the water, it's going to take you downstream. But yet again, most of the time you need a compass to accompany a map. But again, I think, obviously food and water are also priorities. And so it's hard to really, I think this is where it kind of gets hard because we're getting towards the middle of the pack and there's a lot of things that are still essential. And so I don't know. So let me just backtrack a little bit. Did we put the Frisbee down as number 5?
No.
No.
So so number 1 is matches. Number 2 is duct tape. Number 3 is the plastic covered map. Number 4 is 6 sleeping bags. So what do you think number 5?
Number 5. Let's see here.
I mean, just based on like Boy Scouting and stuff, where typically when you're orienting yourself with a map, you typically will have a compass as well. And I put them side by side. Again, I don't know. It's hard because if there are, landmarks in the area that you can use, to kind of guide, like mountains that you can identify and stuff like that, then maybe it's not necessary to have the compass. So it's hard to say, really.
Dan, that's how I look at it. I think it's unnecessary because, like you said, you know which way the water's flowing, whether the river was east
Yeah.
or
Well,
north.
I think the map should have like showing where the water, the river is, or the
Oh, I know, but if you didn't have a
direction
compass,
where
if
the
you didn't
river
have a
is.
compass,
So if you see where the river is, you should know where down the stream is going, because it's obviously where the tide is going.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where you go
Away
downstream. So you should be able to figure out where you are.
Exactly. So I coerce you guys to drop one of them. What's it coming? The compass.
Well, yeah. So if that's the case, what I would say then, what I would argue for the Frisbee at number 5, and then the water purification tablets at number 6, because they kind of go hand in hand, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay. So for number 7, I had the 6 personal flotation devices. And I thought they were kind of in the middle because I don't know, if they're able to dry out, that's something else when it gets cold at night, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would maybe going back to your number 1, Sonia, I would maybe argue the fanny pack of food at this point, because we've kind of got our essential life. We've got kind of keeping warm, and we've got water out of the way, and we've got finding our way with the map, and fixing the canoes. I would maybe say that the fanny pack of food might be important to kind of help maintain energy, and also keep spirits high a little bit.
Okay, Chris,
So that should be,
you think
that should be number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 7 would be fine. The fanny pack of food.
See, that's the difference between men and women. Food motivates us. We would get home faster if we ate first.
Yeah.
Putting that out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so number 8, I had matches, but what we have left are the flotation devices, fishing poles, the set of clothes for 3, the whiskey, the insect repellent, parachute cord, and compass.
Wait, can I change number 1 to whiskey?
Really?
No, I'm
You can just forget. So
yeah.
She'll leave you behind.
Yeah, I'm just done. Just done. Give me the whiskey. You guys, I'll get you later.
you know
Maybe-
what? That's true. You give Kenny the drink, a flotation device on him, and see how far down the river he goes.
Yeah, exactly. But I promise I'll just use it as an antiseptic.
So that bears the question then. Whiskey is good for, like, didn't they have like scratches and
Yeah.
Bruises.
well, it's not good with a bruise, right?
Yeah. I mean, so the flotation, so I would, in my opinion, what should be kind of in the middle, the flotation devices, I think those are pretty important because you could use those to kind of create a barrier between you and the ground if you're spending the night, kind of almost like a pad. And you could use them for other stuff. The fishing poles, I think those are also, Chris mentioned those early on, and I think that's a really important one coming up, just because you could use that when your fanny pack runs out. So
Even though they're broken.
because we use your duct tape and number 2 to kind of fix them.
Yeah, you could fix them, or you can get new fishing poles. Well, not new. You can get a branch from a tree and make a pole with it.
Yeah, or just use the line that they had in them to, you know what I mean? You could jimmy rig something to get a line in the water.
Okay. So do you think we should have the 2 fishing poles as number 8?
I do.
Or the flotation devices. I kind of like the flotation devices for warmth.
Yeah. No, that's true. I'm good either way. I would go maybe 8, 9 with either of those.
Yeah.
I had the flotation devices as 8, and I had the 2 fishing poles as 9 on mine. So
yeah,
Okay,
I would go with either or.
so let's do this flotation device number 8 and the fishing poles number 9.
okay.
And
then I would, after that, I don't know, parachute cord. So you'd have, 35 feet of rope, which could come in handy for a lot of different things, for building a shelter, something like that.
Okay, so I kind of like that because you can also get some tree branches or whatever and pull the person with a broken leg.
Yeah.
So how about parachute cord number 10? That leaves us the set of wet clothes, the whiskey, the insect repellent, and the compass.
So
I put the compass as number 14 because, like I said,
I put the insect repellent as number 14 because it's like, well, do you really need to be caring about warding off bugs at this point in a life situation, life or death?
I think, I don't know if you ever get, I don't know if you ever get lost in a jungle or a bush, but you could have some really nasty bugs there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like mosquitoes. They said like mosquitoes could give you certain kind of fever that could make you more sick.
Well, there you go. I say insect repellent is number 11.
Okay, let's do it.
And if you want, we won't spray you.
Yeah, well, just spray me with whiskey and I'll be fine.
All right, that leaves the wet clothes, the whiskey, and the compass.
So maybe wet clothes, because you could dry those out and use those for extra to help maybe, with the broken leg, to kind of create, wrap that around the leg or whatever.
And then once they dry, maybe those that get colder or somebody who starts to suffer from hypothermia.
Yeah.
Okay, so 12. So the whiskey or the compass? I think the whiskey, I say the whiskey is 13 and the compass is 14.
That's what I have to. I have the whiskey 13.
So do I. That's funny.
Yeah, me too.
We all have the whiskey 13.
All right. So the compass is 14. All right. So now it says, what does it say? Consensus, discuss the rankings. Oh, it gives us the expert rankings.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. So ask each group member to record the consensus rankings in column C. So we did that.
Okay.
Introduce the expert rankings and have students record in column D. So the correct answers are based on the opinions of two experts, Jeff Stimmerman and Ken Geisk of REI Outfitters, both of whom act as guides for canoe trips to the Boundary Waters region. So the experts agreed that the best course of action for the group was to repair one of the canoes and send two of the most experienced and least injured people to paddle to a road, and got to Grand Maris for help. A horrible sentence.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Because a search party would not even leave for at least 5 days and might not find the group for a couple days more, this would cause severe hardship on the group, particularly the one with a broken leg. Food is way down and there is minimal protection from rain and cold since the tent and tarps were lost. Cold and rainy weather at this time of year is life-threatening, so the group must get along as soon as possible. Let's get help as soon as possible. It is estimated the group of two would move faster than if everyone went along and they could get to help within 1 day. Then a helicopter could be sent to the campsite. So I never thought to send two of the healthy people.
Yeah, me either.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Maybe we do need the compass. All right. So first priority of the group then is to go for help. However, in order to do this and survive, it is important to get warm and try to dry out wet clothing and sleeping bags. However, since it has started to drizzle and may rain, there is no assurance things will get dry soon. In that case, the party of two needs to leave quickly in wet clothes and take their wet sleeping bags with them. There is almost no food left, most of it having been lost in the rapids. About half should go to the two paddlers who will have less time to gather food, but who will be presumable get to a food source sooner. The experts said as long as they have water, they could go for 3 days without food and still function adequately. On the third day, they would get shaky. Those left behind can try to catch some fish to eat. So, based on these opinions, the expert rankings are: number 1 was duct tape.
Interesting.
So we were close.
Yeah.
Number 2, the personal flotation devices.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so number 3 was map. Oh, we got that right.
Yeah, we're on there.
Number 4 were the sleeping bags.
Hey, we were on there.
Yeah.
Nice. Number 5 are the matches.
Okay.
Okay. Number 6, food.
Oh, we're close.
Okay. Number 7 were the clothes.
Oh.
So 7. Number 8 were the fishing poles.
Okay, close there.
So 8 fishing poles. Okay, number 9 was the parachute cord. This has many uses as a line to dry clothes,
Oh,
though
yeah.
bushes can be used too to secure the food in a tree away from bears. And if the duct tape runs out, the cord can be used for splitting the leg and for repairing the gunwales on the canoe. So what was that? Number 9 was the parachute cord. Oh, we were close. Number 10 was the insect repellent. For protection from mosquitoes and black flies, which are both persistent and thick, as well as wood ticks and deer ticks, which often spread Lyme disease. Good call.
Good call there.
Okay, number 11 were the water purification tablets. Okay. Mildly important because the water in these areas is often not to pursue. However, the disease to worry about the most is Giardia, a protozoa in the water. It takes 2 weeks to take effect in the body. By that time, everyone should be home. And they die?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Water can also be boiled. So number 12 was the yellow frisbee.
Okay.
Though it was brought for recreation, it actually has some survival value. One use is to heat water in it.
There you go.
Careful that the heat does not melt the plastic. Fish can be boiled in it, as well as can hard candies and water to provide a warm liquid for the group. The frisbee can be used to fan the fire through blowing it on it works too. And it can be used for recreation to ease the tension. So that was number 12. That's funny. Yes. Your leg's broken. Go, let's play.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 13 was the compass.
Oh.
We were close. Number 14 was the whiskey.
What?
We're pretty close there.
So some may think this is useful for energy or to keep warm, but actually it has the opposite effect, and it should only be used as a last resort for pain, broken bone, because alcohol causes dehydration and hypothermia and getting colder. After drinking alcohol, the blood capillaries expand, and initially the driver feels warm. However, heat is actually being lost, and later there's a sudden feeling of being very, very cold. The driver? I don't know where they get these answers from.
Yeah.
So, what was our group error?
Okay, what do we have for?
Group error was just by 1.
So we do just C minus D?
I believe so.
Okay, so 1.
So like whatever's minus. So we were off by 1 here. 5, 7, 5, 1. 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 0. I don't think we did too horribly. Persuasion score. What's the persuasion score? Persuasion. Ask the group member with the best member score for their persuasion score. Oh. Okay, so the individual error from the group ranking. So that's 6. 0, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 7, 1, 0, 2. So all subtracted calculation results should be recorded as an absolute value, meaning no negative numbers. Record the positive value results in your table. So ask students for their individual scores. Calculate your group's average member score by finding the average of the individual scores. Make note of this number. Okay, so if we add up A, then we divide by 3, right? To get our average?
Yeah, so
I have...
Well, so let's see. So right underneath it says like individual score. So, okay.
Yeah, so 6, 7, 8,
9,
12, 13, 14, 21, 22, 24. So I have 24. Kenny, what do you have?
36.
So did all the boys come back from that trip? That scout trip you took them on?
Oh, yeah. They survived.
Chris?
Barely.
Yeah, I haven't done mine yet. I'm just... Yeah, I haven't done mine. I'm just looking here.
So just so I get it right, we subtract B and C to get our individual error, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And they're, yeah. And then we add up the group error as well for our group score, right? So you total column E.
So the total there is 6, 7, 8, 25, 26, 27, 28, 32, 33. So we got 34.
More on the
You guys
group.
get 34?
Yep.
Okay. So
then-
that's
Oh, persuasion's B minus C. Oh, whoops. Just so my persuasion score was the 36.
oh wait, no. So my individual error.
B minus
Oh, I did my
C.
individual error wrong. I did
Yeah.
my ranking with the group ranking.
Yeah, I messed mine up too.
Okay.
So
So
go back and redo that.
Yeah, I missed a couple of the ranking for C. I didn't get to put in a number there, like a
Oh.
setup close for the tree. What do
But
you
that
guys
was-
have?
That was 12.
12. Okay, and one yellow frisbee
let's see.
as well.
That's 5.
That was 5. Yeah.
5. The water purification.
2. Holy smokes, 8.
6.
6.
Yeah.
And one more, the parachute cord.
That was 10.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do mine here quickly. So group, column E, group error, C minus D. C minus D. That'll be 1.
So if we add up column A, right,
Yeah.
between the 3 of us,
1.
man, 46. So 6. 3. What'd you guys get in the individual?
Let's see. I am at 14. 53 for me.
Chris?
I'm still working on mine. Yeah, I'm going slow at it. I'm doing column F now. So I'm doing, it says B minus C.
Okay, gotcha.
So 6.
What's our group? Do you know what our group number is?
8.
Minus 3. 3. Minus. I had no idea we were going to do a calculation here.
Yeah, I know we're sitting
So
here
I wasn't prepared for that.
at
So,
10 o'clock or I don't know what. Oh yeah, you're in Burley, so you're 10 o'clock.
Yeah. So,
We're on to you, Chris.
Okay, let's see.
Okay, so for the individual score,
So I had, my individual score is 53.
Okay. So I add those and then divide by 3.
Yeah.
So as soon as I get Chris's.
Okay.
And then you probably had the best individual score. What was yours?
46.
Yeah.
Individual score. So what you guys have, I didn't ask you, what did you have for the column E score?
34.
34?
Yeah.
Okay. And column F?
So that'll depend on what you ranked it. So you'll do
B
your
minus.
ranking, yeah, minus the group.
Okay, so those are individual, right?
Right.
Okay, so
Did you? Yeah.
yeah, I'm working on the column A.
Okay.
Column A is B minus D. So my ranking minus export ranking.
Mhm.
So okay, let's see.
I bet I've got the best bracket score for the NCAA tournament.
The what?
I'm just kidding. The NCAA basketball tournament starts tomorrow. You guys filled out your brackets?
All I know is I root for the Spurs. The NBA.
Yeah. The Spurs, huh?
Yeah, we used to live in San Antonio, and when they were really good.
Oh yeah. Tim Duncan,
And
Tony Parker, yeah, all those guys.
they had all those. They were a really, really good team.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So, Sonia, so you'll like submit all this, but then I think we go back in and have to kind of like describe the whole process, right? And individually.
Oh, I don't know. Is that what?
I don't know. I haven't.
Says
All right, let me come up with everything here.
Average member score, the group score, best member score, members persuasion score.
okay, so
You probably had the best persuasion score too, huh?
I don't know. Oh, are we supposed to count that out too?
Yeah. So mine, I had 36 in my persuasion score.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16, 24.
Oh yeah, Sonia, you're a good persuader.
Yeah, she is.
I don't know. Somehow I got suckered into leading today. Okay, so it says, they're so slow. Okay, so post the following items: the name of your group members in attendance, a link, average member score, average of all individual scores for the group. Okay, group score, best member score, members process gain.
Okay, so I guess we can do the average member score, right? So it'll be individual scores. So you got my individual score, right?
I do. I'm just waiting for Chris.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Chris.
Let's see here. I'm not sure if I'm getting my calculation here.
Oh, no.
Okay, so the best.
What's that? Yeah, I think we're going over our time. What if I just email you my individual score? Will that work? Or we have to do it online here?
You're gonna make me work overtime? No, that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So just so I have it correct.
Okay.
Okay. So I need your individual score, and from that I'll calculate the average member score, the best member score, or lowest individual score.
And that was you, I think.
Okay. I don't know. We haven't gotten Chris's yet.
Yeah, I don't. You have those questions there that ask for those. I don't have them on this sheet.
On this one?
Yeah, I don't have them on my individual sheet here. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
So just send me. Yeah, just send me your numbers.
okay.
And then, yeah, I guess because then you can figure out. Because do you have all of the ones you need from me, Sonia?
Yeah, I have. So Kenny, your persuasion score was what?
53? 36.
Oh, sorry. 56. And your group error, it was what?
Group error was 8, 13, 20, 25, 35.
Okay. And then, yeah, I have everything. So
Okay.
I think we have to do anything individually,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think just on the, like, there's another part to the group write-up. I mean, not the group write-up.
Conclusion, yeah.
So
Yeah, we gotta get all of this, and then we gotta do the group write-up, the individual write-up for based on this. But I think you maybe should email this to Bracken too, so maybe he could input his ideas, what he want for the different columns, and then we could then we could submit that one time.
Oh, you want me to get Brecken's?
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you email the group the result of what we have tonight, so we can Bracken could have what we have here, so we could all come together and email you back what we have.
Numbers.
Yeah.
You gotta send them to me tonight?
I'll try and get it to you tomorrow.
Okay, then I can't send anything to Brecken until tomorrow then.
Okay.
I don't know. It asks, here's the thing. It
just
asks
asks for who
showed up
members were there in
Stop the
attendance.
broadcast.